Okay, welcome to day 20 of our perfect pitch experiments. I got to be a little honest today. I'm a little shocked at some of the progress that's been made so far. Look, it's not perfect pitch, but I'm hearing things like I haven't heard before. And so that's fun because I reached a certain point where, if I want to compose something, I can do it in my head and then I can write it out. And if I want to know what's going on in a piece, I can listen, and using relative pitch, I can hear what's going on in the music. But, today we're going to continue working with that B flat, and I want to try and just push the boundaries a little bit of what you and I both thought might be possible with both audiation and pitch memory. So we're going to work on this. By the way, I'm not using any kind of filtering this time. I'm not canceling out noise in the background. That's why I don't have my headphones on. So you may hear my child playing in the background. This is just how it is here. But just try and ignore that and focus in on the actual music. Something funny that happened, I have been playing the baby ear training that I'm creating for some of my students that are taking it over at UreMusic.com. And my child a few days ago, she woke up and she started singing triads. She's only 2 years old and she's singing these triads. And she's maybe going to develop a little bit of, well, at least a really good relative pitch here because I'm trying to teach her as much as I can about what I actually know. Okay. And I want to see if I can help her develop perfect pitch. But I'm really, honestly, I feel that relative pitch is still more powerful. I know that perfect pitch, you can do some really cool things. It's a nice party trick. It's nice to be able to just know what you're hearing. I could even see a lot of real world uses for perfect pitch training, but I still think that if you're going to invest your time in something, start with relative pitch. Or if you're going to do perfect pitch, don't spend too much time, maybe 15 minutes a day, and then go on to relative pitch training because perfect pitch training will supplement the relative pitch. The stuff that we're doing today is not useless, even if you don't develop perfect pitch, because what it's doing is it's opening up the ear. It's getting you to listen deep inside intervals. It's getting you to listen to notes. And these are all important things for relative pitch. So whether you develop perfect pitch or not, these exercises are going to help your ear. However, I will also say that the majority of your time should really be spent on relative pitch because it's so powerful. You can hear everything going on in music with relative pitch. So I don't want to talk too much more about that, but I do want to get into these exercises. So just as a brief recap, my name's Kevin Ure. If you don't know me, my last name is pronounced Ure. I taught in university for many years, and before that, I was creating ear training programs and theory programs for myself. I've been doing this really since high school. I've always been interested in creating these complex programs, and I've been doing it my whole life, and so I keep getting better at it. And I really enjoy it. I enjoy helping other people learn. Okay, so up until now, we've worked with the notes C, D, E, and B flat. So I want you to go ahead and just try something. Try and hear a C in your mind. Think about it. Take a moment, play around with a few notes even, and come back to the note that you think is C. Okay, last couple days, I've gotten this note right. And I'm hearing it in my mind first. I'm not using any vocal tension. I'm not using any vowels or anything that could even remotely activate some physical sensation. I know that people with perfect pitch who do this training, they say you should relate it to something physical. You should relate it to a sound. I know all the techniques, but the only techniques I'm interested in, if we're going to develop true perfect pitch, which I don't know if we can, are the exercises that allow you to just hear it purely in your mind. Because I feel the vocal tension, for example, is a trick. You start to feel where a note is in your throat. Well, that's going to change if your pitch expands, your range expands, right? If you're using like doigt, a syllable or something to identify a note, like that's what it sounds like to you, then you are using a crutch. You are using almost like that muscle memory. If I say doigt, doigt, my tongue, my mouth, my lips, they all make a certain impression. And if I do that, chances are, if I do it in the exact same way, I'm going to produce the same pitch every time. So that could be confused for perfect pitch, I think. So we don't want to do that either. We don't want to do the thing where like, oh, I hear it in my forehead. I hear it in the back of my head. That's actually a very useful technique for audiation. But with audiation, all we're trying to do is hear things internally. And we do tend to hear audiation kind of back here. And eventually it can kind of become more encompassing and it's more like we're in a concert. But that's with training and daily work, you know? So we want to avoid any of these tricks. We want to just sit there, relax all your muscles, take a breath, think on a note, the note that you want to hear. Bum. So I got it wrong that time. So it's not going to be consistent, but when you get it wrong, bum, then you just hear it internally. Also, you don't want to sing these. You don't want to be using vocal tension. So what we're going to do today is see if we can make this any more robust. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a sequence of 4 to 6 notes. They're going to be chosen randomly from the notes C, D, E, and B flat. Your job is going to be to identify in order each pitch. So once I've played the sequence, I'm going to ask you to recall the pitches in reverse order. Or you can either say them out loud or you can hum or audiate these pitches. Okay, this is going to be very difficult. So I'm going to make it really easy at first. We're only dealing with B flat, C, D, and E. Let's start with that. Just listen. Now recall that in your mind. What were the pitches? Very easy. B flat, C, D, E. I played them in order. Now reverse them in your mind. Okay, now I'm going to play it. We're going to do it one more time. Same thing. Listen, audiate, and then repeat the pitches. Audiate. Reverse them. You're hearing them in your mind right now. Okay? E, D, C, B flat. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit more of this. This is kind of the main task we're working on today. But why is this going to work? This is pushing your working memory, and your audiation skills. A little bit distinguishing pitch color comes into play here as well. And it's doing all this at once. It's going to be the closest thing to kind of real world listening. And one of the things that we want to do is we want to make sure that we are improving our working memory, because all the research seems to indicate that if you're going to develop any sort of relative pitch or perfect pitch, it's going to come a lot from how good your working memory is. You really need to have a good memory. All right, so B flat, C, D, and E. I'm going to play another sequence. So first you're going to audiate it, play it as I do, and tell me the notes, and then I'll confirm them, and then we're going to play it in reverse. Audiate. Okay, what were the notes? B flat, D, C, E. Now play it in reverse. Okay, I'm going to play it for you. Listen. Play that back in your mind. Okay, now do it again. Forward and then reverse. Hear it in your mind. Now hear it in reverse. Okay, let's do another one. Audiate that. What were the notes? B flat, E, C, D. Okay, now play it in reverse. In your mind. Now I'm going to play it back for you. Audiate that if you got it wrong or if you got it right. Okay, now backwards and forwards. Play all that in your mind. Okay, so this is a challenge because first of all, what we're doing is we're memorizing a 4-note figure. And then what we're doing is we're reversing that 4-note figure. So in a way, we are increasing our memory because we're taking that 4-note figure and doubling it. So we end up getting 8 notes. And it seems to be that the research suggests that 12 notes, holding 12 notes in your memory, just kind of random pitches, is the limit for most people who have trained. And so we're already doing 8 right now. We're using a technique, it's kind of a chunking technique. So what that means is we're going through and we're learning the first pattern, and then we're playing it back, we're memorizing it, and then all we have to do is play it in reverse. So it's a chunking because we're hearing 4 notes at a time. To really build the memory, we want to hear 1 note at a time. It's something I'll talk about. I talk about it in my composing hour course, but you can look it up. You can look up a chunking technique and learn how not to do it on your own. But this is something I really go into depth on because what we're trying to do here is improve the memory. Okay, so now I want to do something different. I want to do the same thing, but I want you to listen for the qualities. We're going to start with the first exercise I did. Did you hear a difference? Listen again. Listen one more time. Now audiate it and try and hear the quality of each note in your mind. Try and hear that piano sound. Okay, let's say you're just sitting here like, I don't hear a difference between those tones. It's like somebody said, I just hear ding, 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 ding. Okay. If that's the case, that's okay, I think. What you want to do is you want to audiate. You want to go ahead and try and just play back what you're hearing in as much detail as you can. So try and hear the sound of the piano here. And then what will happen is as you get better at that, you will start to hear more in each note. So let's try it one more time. Okay, go ahead and play it back in your mind. All right, now play it forwards and backwards. Go ahead and play that in your mind. Let's do a different one. 98. So what were the notes? E, D, E, B flat. Played in reverse. Now play the whole thing from beginning, and then you reverse it. That's what you're hearing in your mind. Okay, so this is something that we're going to work on a little more intensively. This will be one of the main exercises for the quiet ear session for this week. I'm going to record it tomorrow. I've decided that it makes more sense to complete the week and then record the activities that I felt were most useful. This will probably be something that's in there because we want to try and start increasing your musical memory. And these are kind of randomized pitches. So now we're going to do some more traditional sort of ear training for perfect pitch. All right, so just listen to the notes and try and identify what I'm playing. You've only got 4 notes to choose from: B flat, C, D, and E. Don't identify them by relative pitch. If you can, you want to turn that off. Just listen for the qualities and recognize when the B flat, the C, the D, or the E come back. What note is that? B flat. I'm really going to break this down for you today. What note is that? B flat. Okay, let's take those two and compare them. How is that the same as this? More importantly, how is this and this the same, but this and this different? There's something different about it. It's not just that I went higher. Listen to these two notes. B flat and B. The mood shifts in the room. There is a change somehow. Something's changing here. So compare it to when I play the same note. Did you feel a shift in character? At first, I think that's all you're going to hear is a shift, something that you can't explain. And I don't think you should explain it. What note are we listening to? Hear a difference? What I'm shocked about is that I do hear a difference. I will say something. You know, when I tried to sing it earlier and I got the pitch wrong, that's one of the hardest things to do. It's one thing to hear a note played and identify it. That's actually easier. To actually hear a note in your mind and then check it on the piano and be right, that's harder. And what's weird is I tend to get the note right if I haven't listened to any other pitches in the day. But the moment I start listening to other pitches, that's when it gets scattered. So I don't know what that means yet, but just an observation. So now I'm going to play a note, and I want you to really think about it. Just casually think about it. What note do you think I'm playing? It's either C or B flat. That note is C. Here's the B flat. Do you ever experience this thing where you hear the note quality and then you don't? If that happens, I think what's happening here is you're thinking too much. And so you need to back off. Just relax, take a breath. Okay, did it come back a little bit? What note have we added? It's a D. Okay, I'm going to do something now. I'm going to play a note several times, and I want you to count the number of times I play it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to play another note. So then I'm going to ask you how many times did I play that note? And you're going to say 5 or 6 before I changed it. Okay? So what this is doing is it is taking your attention slightly off the note, because now you're focusing on counting. And you may be able to hear a subtle color difference when you focus on the counting aspect of it and less on the actual note. Because the more we try and hear in the note, I'm not going to say it goes away, but you start to create kind of like pressure, you know? You create stress, you create a non-relaxed state. Counting's easier. So we're going to play a note. Just count how many times I play it. How many times did I play it? 7. Did you notice that as you're focusing on the counting, maybe you didn't, maybe you did, leave a comment, post something in the chat. I can see the chat right now. So let me know. Did you hear a difference when I had you count versus when you were just listening to the note? Let's do another one. Count the number of times I play this. have played it 12 times. The important thing is that you were counting. If you got the number wrong or I got the number wrong, less important. But it was about 12 times. The goal here is to count. Let's do one more thing. Counting, that's 2. Six. Okay, now we're going to make this harder. So you got the basic idea. When I play a note, you count how many times I do it in succession. So I played the B flat 6 times, and then I switched notes. You'd say it was 6. 6, right? Now what we're going to do is you're going to count how many times I play each note. So I'm going to play 2 notes. I'm going to play B flat and C. And I want you to try and remember how many times I play the B flat and how many times I play the C. And I may go back and forth, so it's cumulative. So if I go like this. So I played the B flat 3 times, the C twice, and the B flat 1 more time. So I played the B flat 4 times, the C twice. Get it? Here we go. Okay, how many times did I play it? I'm not going to tell you the answer. I want you to write these down, and if you do this again, see if you get better. All right, let's do it again. The goal is not necessarily to get the answer right, which is why I'm not giving you the answer. It makes this a little bit easier to do as well. The goal is for you to try and keep multiple pieces of information in your mind at the same time so that you have to not focus so much on the quality of the pitch, because we say perfect pitch training, you're going to focus on the quality of the pitch. Let's do it again. Don't worry about the answer, but do try and count and keep track of how many times I play each note. Okay, write your answer down. Here's another one. I'm going to add D now. So now you have to keep 3 notes in your mind. You're counting the number of B flats, C's, and D's that I play overall. This is very difficult. Okay, now that we've done that, we're going to go back to just hearing the notes. Just tell me the note that I play, and then I'll give you the answer in a moment. B flat. D. C. E. E. D. C. B flat. flat, D, C, E. Now play 2 notes at a time. Tell me what notes I'm playing. C and D. B flat and E. D and E. C and D. B flat and C. D and E. D and E. Let's add 3 notes. Play it one more time. C, D, and E. Listen for each note. Having trouble? I'll break these apart for you. It's B flat, C, and D. Here we go. Listen to the B flat, C, D. Now try and hear those 3 notes going in the same order, bottom to top. So yeah, if you're taking a flawless course, like, hey, we do some of this in the flawless course. You're right, because a lot of the perfect pitch drills that we do, they overlap with relative pitch. We just hear it differently. So in relative pitch, we're just trying to break apart the tones and hear them. And that's what we try and do in the relative pitch course, the flawless course. In a perfect pitch type course, what we're actually trying to do is hear the color. So we're not trying to necessarily break apart the pitches. We're trying to isolate. They're almost like in their own compartments. And when we play them together like this, they take on the character of the other notes. So I could do a simple drill like this. I'm going to play 4 notes. I'm going to use B flat, C, D, and E. It will always be the same notes. But can you hear the quality of B flat, C, D, and E? Let's try that. Listen for B flat in this chord. Audiate it in your mind if you can. Here it is. Now try and hear the C. Here it is. Listen for the quality of D. Okay, and listen for the quality of E. And here it is. So we're going to be adding a new note tomorrow, and we're going to keep going for the remainder of the 30 days. So far, what I'm shocked by is that I am hearing differences between these notes. But the moment I start playing other music, I do lose those textures a little bit. Occasionally, if I'm listening to music, I play a playlist for my daughter every night. It's part of the baby ear training course, but I play these playlists that focus on particular keys. So right now we're working on G major and G minor. And I'll hear the G pretty clearly because that's a tonic, but another note that sticks out to me often is the C. Every time I hear a C, I hear it. I also hear the B flat. I'm not really hearing the E flat, although sometimes that comes out too, and I think that's because we're also working on E flat a little bit in the composing hour course. We're developing audiation skills, which then lead to counterpoint skills, which leads to form analysis and theory. It's this 3 year course where we go through everything that I can basically teach you. So it's really intensive. You get lessons every week. It's a real intense thing. And it's easy. I mean, you just listen for 40 minutes, preferably twice a week. And then I have these 7-minute drills on days when you're too busy just to keep your audiation skills up and keep you moving forward. But the idea with that course is that we eventually teach counterpoint and form without you ever having to write a note. We do it all in your mind. And so, kind of like what we're doing now, we have to build your memory. And I have more worked out drills in that course because I can sit down, plan them. This is a little bit more impromptu. I'm sitting here, I'm going through, the only goal I really have is to play around with B flat, C, D, and E right now. And I'm just using different exercises on the fly based on what I'm experiencing. So yeah, I'm really taking you through kind of my own practice sessions. So what I think you should do right now though, is if a note pops out in music when you're listening to it, try and figure out what that note is. Try and see if it's one of these notes we've been working on. And let me know, are any notes popping out at you? Is any of this helping you? Those of you that are going along with the training and being real consistent about it, doing it every day, that's what matters. And what you're going to notice, what I've noticed maybe, is, and I've noticed this with relative pitch training too, when I was actively developing my ear many, many years ago. But what I've noticed is that some days you hear it clearly, and the next day it's just like, nope, I don't hear anything. So I had kind of high hopes for today, but didn't hear it as clearly as I did the previous day, which could mean tomorrow I'll hear even more. And I do have a theory that the more notes I add, the more clear these different colors are going to become. So we'll continue this tomorrow. I'll be on here again. Hard to say what time, but let me know how you're doing, and I will see you again tomorrow. And good luck. Keep working.